Big up to the therapy army. Let's be having you people. Let's be having your therapy army.
Come on.
It's all about the World Cup and World Cup fever. Of course, we're going to be talking about a couple of things about Man United as well. We're going to be discussing Team Viewer. Team Viewer saying to the Glazers, Tata. So big up to every United fan on Twitter or all the other social media that's been telling Team Viewer to distance themselves from the vultures, the toxic Glazers. We're going to be talking about the training ground bust up with Martial. Bullying the young ones. Listen, it happens at every game. It happens at every five-a-side. It
How
happens
did they leak
in local parks.
it?
It happens in local parks. It happens everywhere. So those of you who are being here, it's like, you know, it's like a slow news in terms of anything to do with Man United, because
I know.
They have to really find out the story. Oh, there was a bit of a training ground bust up. The guy put a little challenge into Martial. Martial didn't like it. That happens every day,
everywhere,
globally. Every time there's football being played, where teams are training or they're playing match against each other. So big up Alicia Sinkanova. Say Miasi's not having it. Listen, all I did was in Saeed's channel. Big up, by the way. We just made I think it must be 205th or 6th. I think 205. 205 Straight Jacket podcast. We've just done that, and Say Miasi was in there, all up in our face, all up in that space, all up in that chat, chatting absolute maca, getting high as mighty. And I wrapped him up in a spliff and sent him down the M1. So don't worry about Say Miasi. But big up to every one of you. But we're gonna start, Saeed. We're gonna start, man. What a way to start, man. I'm telling you, I've called the podcast. This is gonna be a regular podcast out till the World Cup is on. I'll give you the title. The Moral Hypocrisy Brigade. The moral, I repeat, hypocrisy
it's too much, man.
Brigade. Where they're making out. It's like these people, I forgot what kind of country we live in, bro. Like, we're in the fifth or sixth richest country in the world, like the big food banks galore in every major city in this country.
Yeah.
Like, all the institutions, like, not funded, failing. NHS, housing, RIP to Anwar Azayat, who suddenly lost his life due to poor housing conditions in Rochdale. I was there at his vigil on Saturday. Big up to all those people that turned up to the kids' vigil. I'm looking at the BBC and I'm looking at this high morale BS, Saturday, I'm looking at them all and I'm thinking, did these guys forget what country they live in? But then, Saturday, I look at them and think, but then you're all part of the elites. You're all part of the elites, right? So you live comfortable lives. You're all millionaires. So for you, life in England is superb.
Enjoyable.
While the rest of us struggle, mate. Struggle. Life's not easy.
No.
You know what I mean? Put food on the table ain't easy. So I don't know what these guys are on about. I genuinely don't. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And we'll get into it. But Saeed, the first question I'm going to ask you is that it's for the first time ever that the BBC did not show on BBC. It was on the iPlayer.
I know.
But it wasn't on the actual BBC channel to show a major event. By the way, this is, the biggest sport in the world.
Yeah.
And
most
the opening ceremony. Not Manchester. The BBC acted like the Glazers, actually. Listen, what do the BBC and the Glazers comment? What have they got? They try to silence people, man. They try to silence people.
That's what I'm saying to you.
So at the end of the day, they didn't show it on television, the opening ceremony. First ever time.
That was a joke, man.
Anyway. But talk to me, Sai. What do you think about that?
I thought that was a joke, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you know, that's what people came to see. They wanted to watch it. And you're showcasing the event anyway. So the idea that you wanted to not show that opening ceremony, but then show the game, you might as well do a blackout altogether. Say you're not coming to the World Cup. Because if you're showing the energy that you don't want to show the opening ceremony, where it's about celebration, where it was about showing the culture, you know what I mean, the religion as well. If you look at it, the Quran was playing and everything. So they didn't show all that and showcase what the kind of World Cup was going to be about. I just thought, for me, I was like, yeah, BBC, man, like I said to you, trying to play the moral high ground and whatnot. But yeah, I just think for me it was a joke, and and to this day now, I don't understand why they didn't show it. But again, does it surprise you, man? Does it really surprise you? But also as well, this idea, this agenda as well of Sky Sports, like the way they're showing all these problems about Qatar now. Like they were talking about the ticketing issues today, but then England just won a game. They reported on that straight away. It's a joke. I just think the whole World Cup, the way it's been reported, has been a farce. Don't get me wrong, we still know there's issues and we're still going to talk about them. But the way they're trying to like put it down and the negativity that's surrounding it, for me, it's just too much, man. It's agenda driven, and I don't like it, man. I'll be honest 100%. With you.
Bumbaye, big up Bumbaye.
Big up, man.
I've just asked the question. What did you think about the BBC? They said, oh, they showed it live on the iPlayer, but it wasn't shown on the BBC terrestrial, BBC One, or even BBC Two. What do you think of them boycotting on TV, not showing it on TV, the World Cup ceremony, opening ceremony? To me, that's the first time in my lifetime, in our lifetime, right? I'm the same age as you. In our lifetime, I have ever witnessed that. Like, what do you think? What the hell is going on?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, bro. You good, bro?
Alhamdulillah, yeah, good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, man. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Well, look, man. I'll start with my, with my opening statement for you, which is, first and foremost, Qatar bought the World Cup from Europeans, from FIFA people in Zurich,
exactly,
who sold it. They knew who they were selling it to.
From day
which
dot.
Isn't from day dot. That's the first key point. So it's theirs, and they've paid over the odds for it. It's theirs to do what they want with it. If you have any grievances, then take them to FIFA, first and foremost. They're Europeans. Their headquarters are in Zurich, Switzerland. They're not in the Middle East. It was people, clean-cut European, Caucasian people who sold their votes, and there were political angles to those votes. People like Michel Platini. So that's the first key point.
Sepp Blatter, to be fair, Sepp Blatter.
Sepp Blatter, yeah.
Sepp Blatter also Sepp Blatter.
Yeah.
Loads of them. And these are the civilized, inverted commas, people that belong to the free world. They sold it. They were bought by Qatari dinars. That's the first key point. The second thing, I said last time we spoke about the hypocrisy and the honorable thing to do. Anybody that is so aggrieved, then have some self-respect, do the honorable thing, and don't watch the World Cup.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Okay? Don't watch the World Cup. So, before I get to your question, bro, I've just put together, I sat down and I actually thought about this, because I don't want to be somebody born in England who supports England in the World Cup, usually. Do you know, and I was listening to the Italian guy, Infantino, and I don't know why he's being ridiculed. Because today
was a bit wild.
Because today, bro,
was a bit wild.
I feel like an African guy, refugee, that is freezing in the woods of France with only an aluminium sheet to keep him warm.
Facts.
Today, I feel like a British veteran whose enemy is not the Nazis anymore or the Stern Gang, but winter in my inability to keep warm in my own country that I fought for. Today, I feel like an Afghan who stood shoulder to shoulder with British and American soldiers and was then abandoned to the whims of those Taliban. Today, bro, I feel like any non-European person caught and treated like an animal in Ukraine when the war kicked off by Ukrainians and by the media. Today, bro, I speak to you from an afterlife, having drowned in my attempts to flee persecution and hunger, along with women and children, whilst European coast guards stood and watched us drown. I'm giving recent examples of the news and the types of things we are seeing from the same countries that have gotten on their high horses to an nth degree. And to any human being that is raising their voice like this, no problem. If you have ever been to the Middle East, if you've driven on the roads of Dubai or Abu Dhabi or Oman or any such places, if you've slept in the beds in the hotels, if you've shopped in the malls, if you've ate in the restaurants, if you've enjoyed sporting events, concerts, boxing, Formula One, PGA, who do you think built all that? It's the same people that you're crying for in bullshit human rights now. They built it. And not only that, it's the same contractors, European contractors, that were commissioned to build that same stuff under the same conditions. But only now, with the World Cup in Qatar, is there this freight train. So, in my personal, opinion,
I hope they have the same energy in America when they have it in America, you know? When they have it in America in 2026.
I mean, listen, boys, I don't even want to take us to ancient history because that'll just be the end of the show within 5 minutes. I'm just sticking to, do you know what I mean? To just recent stuff that we have been experienced and saw on the news. These are not examples that are made up. This is real examples. And we always questioned in this country whether democracy is compatible with people from the Middle East, Arabic people. Well, we manufactured something over there that bore a terrorism like we've never seen. Millions hearkened to be with us here. They wanted democracy.
Yep.
What did we do with them? We turned them away.
Let them drown.
We turned them away.
Let them drown. We let them drown in the sea.
And we demonized them. And we are playing a major role in the fact that people are having to leave their homes.
Exactly.
Because of our presence in Africa, in South America, in the Middle East.
Yeah, 100%. Listen.
So that's my opening statement, bro. It all goes back to one very famous proverb. Glass houses, man. Don't throw stones from glass houses. The only difference today is we want to throw boulders from Perspex houses with corrugated iron roof because now we can't even afford glass in Europe. That's what they've done.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you know what? Big up Assad, by the way. Big up Assad Ashraf. Assad says that these countries, Dubai, Qatar, are for Westerners anyway. 70% odd in Dubai are Europeans. But I'll say this simple. Let me give you a little bit of historical context. Majority of the Middle East was part of the British Empire since the 1970s. For example, since, you know, Qatar, since, honestly, I've got it up here. I've got it open here on the page. Qatar was part of the British Empire since 1970s. So the way the Qataris, who taught them this? Who put these things down? Who taught them this? Who taught them to dehumanize people? Who taught them these things? Right? This is British Empire. Legacy of empire. But in this country, they'll teach you about Henry VIII, but they'll never teach you about the British Empire, innit? And look at even Wales today. Wales. Do you know one of the songs that the fans were singing on the stadium today? You know one of the songs? You know what it means? The Welsh people in the 1950s and 60s were not allowed to write, to read their own language, to sing their own song. They weren't allowed. The British Empire was not allowing them. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that level of colonization? That the Welsh language was banned. People were put in prison, right? So before the British Empire went to anywhere else, it started with Scotland, started with Ireland, started the experiments in Wales. When I look at historic things on the map of Britain, a couple of thousand years ago, Wales was Yorkshire was part of Wales, and now they're in this little corner. But they're not even allowed to write in their own and speak in their own language. And now they qualify for the World Cup. Majority of that fans in that stadium are singing the songs that freedom fighters from Wales, freedom people, freedom of thought fighters, who were like, no, we're proud of to be Welsh. We're proud of our language. We want to sing. One of the most famous songs is that song, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's what I tell you. So all of a sudden, Britain, like Mumbai just smacked it down the middle. Majority of the homeless people in this country are what? Army veterans. Majority of them are army veterans who live. I spoke about the food banks before. So when I turned on the BBC this morning, and then the way they're covering. Listen, I've got nothing against Alex Scott. She can wear whatever she wants. She can wear whatever she wants. She has the freedom to do that as a human.
Yeah, that's what you have to. Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
So, but to me, this moralizing, like Mumbai said, Saeed, every Western and European institutions is being found to be corrupt. They love their money of the Qataris, the Dubai lot, the Emiratis. They love their money, the Saudis. But then they love selling them weapons. They love exporting everything over there. They love like rinsing them. But we don't like your culture.
Do you see that Piers Morgan interview? He goes, would you visit the Middle East? I might do.
You know what? He just pointed it out, Saeed, the level of hypocrisy. And I'm glad that now we've got the internet. And now people like us, and people go, oh, you should separate football from sport, from politics.
But they go together. They go together.
Everything's political in this world. Everything's political. When the people says, oh, I'm not political, that means you're so political that for you to choose, you're so privileged that you could say that political decisions in the world and systems and structures don't affect you. But I'll come to you, Saeed.
Yeah.
I'll come to you on this one. Here comes Irfan.
Big up Irfan.
Sort the light out properly. We can't see.
Hang on.
Sort the light out properly.
Irfan, my ears are still ringing.
Are they? How come?
Fantastic, unbelievable night.
Oh man, listen, I'm here to keep you young. Remember, I'm here to make sure your heart's still working properly. That's my job. Yeah.
You're doing your job. Keep doing it.
You know what? I had so much Arabic music, but I didn't get a chance to play it, man. There's too many. My brain's going tick 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 tick. I had too much shit to East African and Arabic music I had to play, but it's hard, man. You just can't do it all, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. So we began laying it out. I think we laid a lot.
Yeah, I was checking a bit. I was trying to like rush, get organized. Shit. Sorry. Yeah, so I was listening. I have the phone on to check what you guys have been saying as well.
Yeah. So basically, we're on that question. The BBC not showing live on the BBC One or BBC Two. Yeah. Not showing the ceremony.
I know they didn't show the opening ceremony, man.
They showed it on the iPlayer live, but not in the terrestrial TV. Not everybody's got their iPlayer, by the way. Not everybody's got access to.
Yeah, but you know why? You know why they didn't show the opening ceremony? You know why, don't you? Yeah.
Talk to us there.
Well, obviously, right? Look, this is such a deep issue, yeah. And a lot of white people are not going to like what I have to say, but I just say I don't give a shit what people think.
Listen, can I just stop you there? It's not about white people. It's
no, it isn't, Nuruddin. No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
It's about the elites.
No, Nuruddin. No, I disagree with you. Me and you, we disagree.
No, let me finish. Let me finish. No. It's about the elites that condition certain people, working class people in this country. Yeah. It's the elites that control majority of the media. It's the elites that brainwash people to vote against their own self-interest. Yeah. So for me, I have no problem with the Iranian people, with Qatari, with Saudi people, normal people. But the elites of all these countries, including this country which we live in, are all morally bankrupt. But for me,
but Nuruddin, where we disagree, what do you mean you disagree though? Listen, where we disagree though. We disagree. I'll tell you why.
Go on.
When Black Lives Matter happened, right? When that poor man got murdered, right? What did it show? What did it really show people? What did it really show? What I took away from it was only white people have the power to change white society, and it comes down to power. Are you prepared to give up that power of privilege where you're not going to get stopped in the street so the brothers can walk down the street and the sisters can walk down the street and not get hassled? Are you prepared to give it up? Are you prepared to take a day off work to say, you know what? We're not going to work today. We're going to march for the people that have been died. Were they prepared to do that? Were they fuck? Okay. So let's just call it out. Let's just be straight about this. Okay. No, the white people are not going to give it white power. And you know, I love everyone. I don't give a shit what color they are. I'm cool with everyone, right? But this is the truth. They're not going to give up the white power that they have, whatever little it may be, whether you're a poor working class person above, you're not going to give up that power dynamic. And that in the psychology of the power dynamic is moralizing. That's where it comes from. Oh, we're the superior race. We decide what's right, what's wrong. But you understand that. Get that into your head. That is the starting point of the debate, in my opinion, right? Now, the hypocrisy with Qatar is so unending. It's unbelievable, right? 8 of the 32 countries playing in the tournament, they banned homosexuality. 8 of them. Do you think Serbians love homosexuals? Do you think Poland loves homosexuals? You know, where's the shit on Serbia and Poland? Where was them? You know, where's all that shit? You know, the hypocrisy does not stop. Now, are you going to give it to Britain? Destroy the country of Iraq, kill a million people dead. The country's on its knees. I would love to take all the country, England, and say, right, we're going to transport you all to Basra and you know, the capital of Iraq. What's it called? The capital of Iraq. Baghdad. Yeah, let's go to Baghdad. That'd be a wake-up call, wouldn't you? That would be a wake-up call from your little armchair, right? Again, are you going to give it to America? It's just outlawed abortion. How do British people sit with that? I could go on and on and on, right? You know, it's insane. I mean, look, Piers Morgan, let's be honest about it. You know, we hate the populists. He called out the hypocrisy. He's going. You know, a lot of people are going. Look, the bottom line is Western Europe, and it's white Western Europe, they do not like things, you know, to sort of break up their little comfort zone. They love liberal values. Oh, we want LGBT to be cool. We don't want any racism. Listen. It's just their moralizing that they have, but the hypocrisy they're moralizing is never ending. It's just never ending. Now, if you feel upset by me calling it via race, I'm only telling you in a brutal way how it works. Now, blacks, browns, yellows, everyone that's got a conservative element has got major issues that they're prepared to address. Some of them are based around faith. Some of them based are just about values. We can talk about those all day long in an honest, open way towards each other, and we can call each other out. I got no problem with anyone calling me. I got no problem being called by everyone and people discussing it. I got no issue with that, right? But this one, you know, just one point, and then like, so wait a second, is it going to stop you going to Dubai, your little holiday center in the flipping where they all are? Like, are you going to stop going to Jumeirah? Are you still going to go? You know, where's your shit when you're going to Jumeirah? You go to Dubai, that famous home of homosexuality. Yeah, was it a problem when you go in there? You know, your second home. You know, that's what I'm saying to you. So where does this shit stop? Where does it stop? I mean, we can talk about workers' rights. We can talk about so many details, Nuruddin. We can talk about so much, but the moralizing is not going to stop because the power lies with white Western society, and they decide to all of us others what's morally right and what's morally wrong, and they're not prepared to give up that power. It's not going to stop.
Okay, this is where I agree with 90% what you said. The point where we disagree, I don't see white working class people in this country having any power whatsoever. I think the middle classes, middle England, and I think the elites. No, Irfan, the middle classes have the power, Irfan.
No, but no, this way, but you're misunderstanding me. You're misunderstanding me.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
I, more than anybody, I grew up in South Central Manchester, and I'm amongst white working class people. The trap of the system of them just about barely making ends meet, not thinking about all of the different things that are going on globally, traps them. In terms of when Thatcher smashed the unions, their power went down the line, right? Their power went. So they have no power. Now, middle classes in this country, the middle classes know exactly what's going on. The middle classes and the upper classes in this country and the elites who run this country are all in cohesion. They all know they're constantly trying to keep the system the way they are. But Saeed, listen, I just want to go back to Saeed. I'm
going to second with Nuruddin, but you missed out a very important point, though. I'll give you an example historically.
Well, right? Let me just add this. Do those white work if me and you got done for crime, and 2 white working class lads got done for crime, we, because of our names
Yeah.
and where our heritage are from,
Yeah.
we will get penalized for that.
More than they will. More than they will. More than they will.
More than they will. But that, listen, that's not them having power. That's the way the systems react to them.
But Nuruddin, but that's the small amount of power they have over me and you. That is the small amount. Now, let's be honest.
To me, that's not power they have, though. That's the way the institutions see me and you.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. But Nuruddin, it doesn't matter how you get it. You got it. Now, look, me and you both have majority of our friends are white working class people. The majority of our friends are. They're our people. I see them as my people, right? So this is not about. I'm not dissing them directly, but I'm just saying the truth. And whether they like it or not, we still have to continue because it's discussion. That's still privilege that stops them. Even a dirt poor white guy with nothing compared to a dirt poor black guy or dirt poor brown guy, whatever, he's still got a little advantage. And that's just it. And that's just the power.
Yes, listen.
Give me an example. Wait a second. There's one thing you missed already.
It's important to make the distinction. That poor working class person, the way the institutions see him is different to the way they see a brown or a black person.
Of course.
It's not something that they have themselves. Because there are, listen, when I tell people, majority of the homeless people in this country are veterans.
They are. They've been willfully, purposely neglected by the people that used them to go and fight the dirty wars and then left them to rot on the streets here. I've seen it with my own eyes. You don't have to tell me that, but Nuruddin, but that's what I'm saying, but Nuruddin, but in this situation, right, when a nation is telling its people, oh, hang on, we shouldn't be doing this because of this LGBT rights or whatever, right? The problem is the responsibilities on every single person, black or white, whatever. It's on us. We're all being looked at each other. You know, the footballers aren't going to change shit. But I'll give you an example, right? The cotton workers, when the cotton was coming from the deep south to Rochdale in the cotton mills, they made the conscious decision. The white working class cooperatives of Rochdale, I don't know, it was 100 years ago, plus years ago, decided to say, you know what? We're going to forgo our living to help our brothers and sisters in the deep south. They stopped taking the cotton from there and gave up their livelihoods. That is what I call power. That's what I call where white working class showed the world, showed the middle class, everyone, that we have got morals and we're prepared to bleed for our brothers and sisters. It's one of the few instances in history where the white working classes have had to give up their money and work in a different country to help somebody else across the way. The slaves and the cotton pickers in the South. Look in history, look in it. It does happen.
Listen, I was in Rochdale on Saturday. I went to the visual of that Anwar Azak. But I want to bring this Bombay and Saeed, and I'll go to Saeed, but I'll just make this final point. At that time, what you're talking about, like I said to you, the white working class people in this country were organized in unions. They had that's their power. Not just all of that. And power base went.
No, I agree that happened because there was a very strong working class labor movement at the time. It was the start of the Labour Party, etc. I get that. You know, all the fermentation to get workers' rights. I love it. You know.
Saeed, I'll ask you the question, and I think this is really important as well. How much of Islamophobia, where in Britain is the only form of acceptable racism? You know what? Tonight, people, we're not going to today. We're getting the hit that heart of the matter. This show, I've had to do that. I've been forced to do the show because of the BS what we see on television. To me, the only form of acceptable racism in this country, right? And before people get in the comments and go, but Islam's not a race. Majority of the world, Islam is one of the most racialized religions. Why? Majority of the people in the world who are Muslim are brown and black. So before you even get there, right? And especially in this country, majority of Muslims are brown and black. That's who they are, right? So how much of it, Saeed, is that all of a sudden, where Islamophobia is a form of acceptance, and we can see that it's blatant. That Islamophobia is acceptable along all the parties. It's acceptable by comedians. How much do you think that's playing into the anti-Qatar, anti-World Cup Qatar? Even though the original crime was done 12 years ago, where Bombay laid it out, where they bought the World Cup from a European institution.
You know, as well, I think as well, because the fact that it's a Muslim country as well, it does play a part. And I think, you know, the media now are playing on it. They're trying to find flaws in it. You know what I mean? Even when I was hearing the other day, like when the Quran was read out, there was a lot of people saying, "Oh, you shouldn't mix religion and culture into football and whatnot. But it's showcasing the culture, showcasing what Qatar is about. And I think for me, you know, it's part of the World Cup and it's part of what the culture of Qatar is. So for me, I think the media are playing on that. They're trying to dehumanize as well in terms of, you know, the actual Qatari people as well. They're trying to not show that side of it, and they're trying to show the other side of it, that, you know, Islam is peace. It's about, you know, spreading love. And I think the more that this media show, then the more the people can understand. And I think ultimately people are not understanding what Islam is all about, what Qatar is all about. And I think ultimately that kind of, you know, narrative that's been built now by the media, for me, it's wrong, man. They need to show more love. And there's some videos out there, you know, that you can see people are you know, coexisting together. They're coexisting. If you're Muslim, you're Christian, whatever, you know, whatever religion you are from, you can coexist. But I think it's going to ultimately be there. But it's down to us and this platform as well. This is why, you know, you gotta rate what Nuruddin does. Like, it's an open speech platform. You have your say. But like I said, when I seen the situation with what was his name, True Geordie, and then he was back on Twitch again the following week, like, it's never going to be serious. And this is the problem. We're not going to take it seriously enough. But this World Cup will be the perfect time to showcase that. And I hope the leaders of like I said, you know, Qatar and whatnot, and the big leaders in the religion, they show that and say, you know what, this is what Islam's all about. Because a lot of people have a different perspective of what Islam is, and it's not good, man. So we need to showcase that. But this idea, it will keep happening, Nuruddin. And this is the saddest thing about it. It will keep happening.
I'm being genuine when I say that. To me, I've studied, my dissertation was football and racism. I've done a literature review. I've looked through all of the race relations acts. I've looked through how anti-racism work came from white working class people, Irfan. Came from white working class in the 1970s that love music, hate racism. Love football, hate racism. All of these were grassroots solidarity.
But remember, Nuruddin,
the history far as back as where slave ships, when slave ships were coming to this country, like in the 1700s, right? Yeah. That where slaves escaped, it was what white working class people that hid them and took them.
But you got to qualify your mark. You got to qualify it.
Working class people around globally is massive. But Bombay, I'll come to you. So
but wait a second, Nuruddin. Can I just correct you on something? Well, not correct you, just put a point to it. You do say white working class people. What we're talking about is a small percentage of white working class people who are the best people around. In this country, the reason I'm still here, I've lived all my life, is because I know a certain percentage of the white working class are completely for us. They'll respect all those people all day long. But it's not all of them. It's just a percentage of them. Let's just get it right. It's not all of them, okay?
Yeah, but we know that the rest of them have been brainwashed to even vote against their own interests. They've been
of the working class. Forget the middle class or upper class. We're talking about the working class here,
yeah? Large majority of the working class in this country who don't live in big cities, who don't come across people who are brown and black or Muslim, people of different faiths, are brainwashed.
They're brainwashed.
They even brainwashed to hate themselves.
Yeah, they hate.
Brainwashed to hate themselves. So it is what it is. But Abumbaya, I'll come to you. How much do you think the Islamophobia is playing into this? How much do you think is playing into this coverage?
Well, I think what I would say and how I'd address the people, I wouldn't address it as white or anything like that. What I'd refer to it as is the narrative that is so loud against this World Cup in the name of human rights, gay rights, and women's rights. These are the three components that make up this voice against the host nation. Human rights, I'll address each of these topics anyway accordingly.
No, listen.
But with regards to Islamophobia,
listen to me.
I think
I have to go into that to just stay specifically on the
okay,
question.
I'll stay.
Why,
whatever you want.
Do you think Islamophobia is playing a large part in the way that the coverage is being carried on Qatar, like they're backward people? Like, for example, I'll give the example quickly. Like
Yes.
Like Alan Turing, right? Is it his name? Have I got his surname?
Alan Turing, that's right. Yeah, it's Alan Turing. Yeah.
Listen, Alan Turing was a gay man. He was a hero in this country.
Yeah.
There's a mural of him just opposite near Wivington, near bus station, opposite the cemetery down there, right in Manchester. He was a
It's still
mathematician,
there.
a computer. He was a computer genius.
Yeah.
Trained at Manchester University.
Yeah.
Sorry, the University of Manchester.
Yeah.
He and his team apparently broke a thing called in the Second World War the Enigma code, right?
That's right. They did.
Enigma
Yeah.
code, yeah. That saved about 13 million, 14 million lives, right? He was a gay man.
Yeah.
He was chemically castrated in this country in the 50s.
Yeah.
So this moral high ground about wherever you are, there's nothing new in human behavior. Nothing new. I support every human being to be who they are with their human dignity.
Completely. Yeah.
Right. But the thing I want to ask you, Bombay, genuinely, it's not even about the women's rights for me or LGBT rights. The biggest thing for me is about the migrant rights, where 25,000 in the last almost a decade, 8 to 10 years, have died crossing the Atlantic. Is it the Atlantic or the Pacific? The Atlantic, yeah, to come to Europe, right? Coming from Africa,
they're crossing the Mediterranean, Nuruddin.
The Mediterranean from Africa or the Middle East, coming to have died. The idea that Europeans or European like the Germans or the British or the French can say anything about migrant deaths, to me, is the biggest laughable. But I'm asking you the questions here. Knowing what you know about how Islamophobia in this country is, do you think that's playing a large part? Yes or no, for what you see?
It's very difficult.
Come by it.
The way, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can, yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
The narrative, the components of the narrative are very, very, very similar to the very old colonial mentality that has come as a beacon of light to civilize that which it looks upon as troglodyte.
True.
These Arabs are just backward, camel herders, sand dune walkers, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And this Hollywood manufactured image of what Islam is and what the Middle Eastern person is has reared its head within this narrative that masquerades as championing rights against that which is oppressive. That's what I see here. And just a little side point, just a small side point. I love this country. And I believe, having lived now I'd say I've experienced, the different levels of this society. I've had the privilege of having it quite good, and I've seen what it is to have it very, very, very bad. There are good people and there are bad people in every segment. But in the main, I think people of this country are colonized within this country. We are colonized. That colonial system was brought here against the people, not by the people, by the ruling classes that are dominating and that are guiding this narrative. We are all complicit in this narrative to the outside world because it is what dominates the British broadcasting corporations of this country. They have the power to speak in the name of everybody. But thank God such a platform as this allows us to disassociate and at least contextualize for everybody what it is that we feel and where we really stand on the matter. But in terms of what you're saying, I can't help but say there is certainly Islamophobic ingredients in everything that is going on here. Which is a shame, which is a real shame. We're still making the age-old mistakes. We want to tell everybody how to live, what to do. Well, in all honesty, it is a little bit rich for any Europeans in positions of power to be talking about any rights at all. If you want to go into ancient history or recent history, it is a bit rich. And we have an age-old saying, don't eat in your host's plate and then spit in it. And the reason I'm saying that is the Premier League and the Champions League, you take away the money of these human rights abusers, these backward people, then you don't have a Premier League anymore. You don't have a Champions League anymore. You don't even have a functional society, because who's going to buy the armaments? Who's going to buy all this shit that we produce and sell them at overinflated prices? We are not here in this country, for example, because we're the smartest. We live, our city, Manchester City, it exists at the behest of 70,000 students, many of which come heavily financed by their governments in these states that we are reproaching. We rely, our sustenance relies upon the influx of that money that is given to the students to come and get an education and experience life here in England. So the hypocrisy, it's just
listen,
unbelievable.
The hypocrisy is crazy. The hypocrisy. Listen, I just want to shout out Luke Singh. Is it Luke Singh? Let me just.
Lucky Singh. It's Lucky, yeah.
Sorry, Lucky Singh. Listen, big up Lucky Singh. Listen, for me, I stand up for the human rights for everybody in this world, right? I stand up for the women who are protesting in Iran, but then I understand the difference that the British government, the American government, the morally bankrupt Western nations do not give a F about Iranian women, Afghani women, Qatari women, Qatar LGBT, gay Qataris, gay Iranians, gay Afghans. They don't give two damn. What they give about is imperialism and getting oil, and about the richness of enriching their own corporations. I can differentiate the two, so don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. And also, people, we're not going to be on this channel and talk about that there isn't racism, brown on black racism.
Big time.
In places like Qatar, in the Middle East. But please understand this. Majority of the Middle East was ruled by the British Empire. Who do you think taught them these things? Who do you think generating more of this hatred towards other people that look slightly different?
No, I'm going to second nerd in. No, let's just finish off what.
No, listen, I just want to come to this. We've chatted about this for 40 minutes. I want us to focus the last 15, 20 minutes onto the World Cup, what we thought about the games and the World Cup so far. But Irfan, I'll let you go.
I just want to make basically what Ali Bombay just talked about. In academia, the text to read, which was the first major book in all universities that's taught since the man wrote it, was Edward Said's book called what was it called? Orientalism. Edward Said, the book is called Orientalism. Now, it's a very, very difficult book to read. It'll drive you bonkers. You'll keep throwing it down. But when you read it, basically the gist of it is saying that the academics in Western Europe did everything to look at Arabs as just little, sand shoveling, whatever, camel eating, whatever. That's what they did. They just rubbished them as people for a long, long time. But this book went into detail. He looked at all the texts written about Arab people by white people, and it's all in his book. That book is taught in all universities. Anybody who studies history of art is taught, you have to read this book. Edward Said's, it's called Orientalism, right? The other point is, in terms of the proverb, is people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. That's basically what we're talking about here, right? That's the saying for this, right? And that's what we live. We do live in these European glass houses. The glass is so thin. Like I said, and here they are dashing shit out to everybody else, calling them under the sun. But you can't help that. This is what imperial powers do. This is what gigantic, power groups do. That's what they do. They rubbish, they diminish, they stamp on, they rub their noses in it because they see themselves as a superior race. Now, I'm not saying it's the people at the bottom, but the people at the bottom obviously are slightly advantageous in micro ways, small ways, from the system of power at the very top. That's just how it works. We can't get away from that. But we cannot deny Arabs are racist, brown people are racist, black people are racist. Everyone is. That's fact. That exists too. But we have to challenge everyone about everything. Now, I don't want to get so deep into this because we could have gone super deep, because we could have gone back to the Dark Ages and the Enlightenment. We could have talked about the fact when Europe was almost savage-like, and they learned everything from the Arabs: street lights, mathematics, everything, all from agriculture, astronomy, all of it. All of it. You know, when the Crusaders went to Arab world in the 1400s, they realized how backward they were. But you know, things have changed now. I would say that.
Listen, we could also talk about how the Greeks went to universities. The biggest the universities were in Africa, like in you know what I mean, like where the people were taught, like the oldest library in the world came from Africa. And how the Greeks stole a lot of the things from the Egyptians. And
from Baghdad, earliest university is Iraq, earliest university ever. You learn everything, but that was the age of enlightenment. Christianity went through, white Western culture went through an enlightenment, and it was a good thing. Don't get me wrong, but look, Nuruddin, we need to also look at the fact that Qatar, Dubai, Saudi Arabia abuse Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, Thais, African, abuse the shit out of them, treat them as little insects that they can step on. And like, look, the Guardian wrote an article, right? Not my favorite paper at all. They wrote an article where security guards at the World Cup for overtime, Nuruddin, they were getting 50p an hour overtime. They asked them, have you seen anywhere in Qatar? I said, I've been working 12 to 14-hour shifts. Of course, I haven't seen anything. I haven't left where I am now. I go to sleep, I wake up, I get back to work. So we know that the Arabs in that Gulf states are massive exploiters of anyone dark-skinned. Let's face it. You know,
listen,
let's not forget that's the truth too.
Course,
as well.
You know, of course. But then also, let's not forget, understand that the England shirts was majority England fans are wearing. It's been what £1.35 per hour being paid to these people who are making that in Thailand, right? So this idea of like workers' rights in this country. The government's tried to take away workers' rights, like sick pay, like holiday pay. All of them eroding all of that away. So let's not get it twisted, people. I hope we've covered that enough. We've shown you that what we titled is the moral hypocrisy for me, hypocrisy, the Brigade. I think we've dismantled them, and I don't want to hear any lecturing to, because those elites who are on television, who are all of them millionaires, all of these people who got money, more than the average working class people, they live in a different world to the majority of us. And to see the rise in food banks in all of the major cities in this country, and then you've got the cheap. Listen, somebody say, that's what about ourism. It's not about what about ourism. To me, nobody was talking about England in 2006 when England and America and the coalition of leaders attacking people and setting up massive wars in the Middle East. Nobody was talking about them being banned, but people are now talking about Iran. Listen, I am against all rulers and elites all globally. I'm against them. That's me, because I always stand with the side of the people. But do not get it twisted. Do I support every people, every human right to fight for rights in the world? Yes, I do. But I do not get it twisted by imperialists who are going to tell you they care about gay people in the Middle East, or migrant workers in the Middle East, or they care about women in the Middle East. They don't. They care about money, power. That's what they care about, and control. So don't get it twisted. We're going to come to the games now. Bumbaye, what have you watched of the games? Good start by England today, by the way. Fantastic start for England. Iran just got back, and as soon as the first goal went in, they didn't have a plan B. Did you see that? Did you see a bit of the game? Or were you working?
Bro, I do hope you're going to allow me to just talk a little bit more about the substantive issues. Not a lot more, but a bit more. Because it is important to address certain perspectives, not because they're right or wrong, because I just feel that we have to have the capacity to accept that the way that we see things is not the way that other people see things, and not the way that they want to see things. It's, you know, if somebody's saying that I feel that you're oppressed, but I'm like, no, I'm not. We have a different culture. Our priorities are different. and we have to start to be able to agree to disagree. That is the quintessential essence of what it is to be diverse and democratic, not to be demonized when you draw a line in the sand and say, look, I'm sorry, I don't agree with this. I don't want to kill anybody. I don't want to discriminate against anybody, but this is something that I refrain from. I see things differently. You know, so like there are three elements to this. And the first thing I just want to say, guys, I agree with Irfan. I have experienced going out to these countries. You know, the wealth is unreal. And unfortunately, people that come from impoverished countries are mistreated in many instances. Some people like are going to come now, build stadiums, and that'll be the end of it. But many people from those countries also make lives for themselves there and are able to raise their families up back home. Sure, they will be treated as second-class citizens, but if they don't come there and they don't go into servitude, then you know it's worthwhile for them to do that. Unfortunately, that's just the way the world is.
We live in an effed up world. Listen, Bombay,
okay.
can you just answer this question?
But in terms, I'm going to come to the games.
Just 1 second, Bombay. Listen, can you just answer this question from Windy? Windy says, "Do you think Qatar could have done a better job using this platform to educate about Islam?"
I think Qatar is having to fight constantly to prove the reality, which is, look, everybody is. One thing that I can't fault in the Arabian Peninsula, Wendy and anybody else that's listening, the hospitality of these people is legendary. Is legendary, not to migrant workers, it's not, but to people that are coming from Europe, the people that they see as, you know, we want to show you what we, you know, humanize. You go to Dubai, you go to these places as an expat, the hospitality is unrivaled, even amongst themselves. It's world famous. And nobody is going to have any problems in Qatar. Whether you're gay, whether you're a woman, nobody's going to have any problems. All they are saying is, look, everybody is welcome. But just respect that the public domain is an Islamic one, guys. And that goes for men, women, same sex. Just they're asking you to respect their culture as your hosts for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Islam has existed without very much fanfare for millennia in cultures that are at loggerheads with it. But all that proves to me is the breadth and depth of the philosophy that is Islam, in order for a Muslim to be able to be a proactive, law-abiding member of society, which is what Islam has been in the main, within a culture that is not Islamic. Think of the kind of places where we have worked as Muslims, with whom we work. We've got this idea, because of this narrative, guys, that the Gestapo is waiting there to start killing people and smashing people in. There's nothing like that. And many English fans, credit to them, thank God for the independence of YouTube, are showing you these things, are reporting back to you these things. And I personally am not surprised. I am not surprised. And the Qataris, look, first of all, I have to say, 7,000 deaths. I challenge anybody to bring me substantiated evidence of that. It's a ridiculous number.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry to say.
Last time you said this last time, but bro, listen. I know
it's a ridiculous number.
Yeah, I know you think it's a crazy number. This is where we disagree a little bit. But are you telling me it's not? You're telling me that it's not believable that 6,500 couldn't have died while building states?
No,
are you telling me?
No. What I'd say to you is, listen. What I'd say to you is, forget conjecture. All this started with that. Then it morphed into women's rights. Then it went into gay rights.
No, it wasn't women's rights. They weren't asked about the women's rights.
No. Women's rights is a prominent component of this narrative. You have to understand that. It is. It's a three-pronged narrative. Human, women, gay rights. That's all this entire voice is made of.
Listen, but we've covered it. We've talked about it. They don't care.
Right.
We've
So,
said this.
so look, bro, listen, I know they don't care, but it's important that
No,
this
but
platform.
we covered it. Listen, the thing to educate the
Look,
people.
7,000 is absolutely unsubstantiated, and
Listen,
even still,
listen,
they have
you
been
don't believe
prison.
in it.
They have been look. They've been compelled to make some improvements. I'm not saying they did it out of the goodness of their hearts, but they've been compelled over there to actually make some reforms. I can just throw that question right back at us here. Has there been any progress in Sierra Leone, in Congo? Has Iraq gotten worse? That bought ISIS. What about Libya? Has that improved under our guardianship? It's now reduced to just a ragtag of everybody's got guns and militaries. Bro, and look, I'm just going to quickly address this last thing, and then you can move on. Look.
No, I think so. No, Bombay, seriously, you've addressed it seriously.
No, last one, right? The envy. Look, the women are being demonized. Muslim women are still demonized and pigeonholed into the Hollywood narrative that has been given to the West. These women, look at how many women, Muslim, from the Arabian Peninsula come here independently, alone, for 3 to 5 years, get their degrees, get their masters. Man, these women over there, they would be the envy of most European women in terms of just the lifestyle that they're afforded. One choice that they do have, which many women, unfortunately, in our society do not, they have the choice that I do not want to work. I have the God-given right to be expected to be looked after and sustained, me and the children, by my husband. Here, women are compelled to work even if they don't want to because of the necessity for a dual income, the necessity to buy a house. So she has the right to be a wife, to be a rearing hand. Here, that right has been taken away because of the financial implications.
This is why we disagree. Bombay, this is why we disagree. To me, I support every human being in this world to choose whatever life they want to live in.
That's fine.
Listen to me.
That's
if people
fine.
want to live, listen to me.
I do.
Listen to me. If people want to live in religious, very religious, orthodox way of living, hunt right. If people don't want to live that life, hunt, they have their freedom as well. But
fine.
Because listen, Bye, it's a football channel. I think we spent a long time. To me, the biggest thing I wanted of the people watching to get is that the message to take away people is that these governments, grandstanding, do not care. They don't care about women or LGBTQI plus people or migrant workers. They don't care because in this country, we reject them. And in the Mediterranean, we've let 25,000 people die. This country, the elites of this, not other people, the elites in this country and in America and of the West have ruined millions and killed millions. I say this. I believe almost 7,000 people died because of the poor health and safety conditions. But that goes across the board in the world. Even in this country, they're cutting back on health and safety conditions. And it's one of the reasons why more people wanted to vote for the rich were brainwashing people to not be in Europe. That's what's happening. But I want to get onto the football. Irfan, did you see any of the games? Did you watch any of the football?
I watched a little bit of all of them, but I mean, like I said, it's hard for me because, like, you know, obviously this discussions has been going on, you know, like they didn't show the opening ceremony and this and that, and then I've been like, it sort of took a little bit of my buzz to go and watch it, you know, and like thinking. So I was just watching. I watched a little bit of England, and they looked fluid, you know. I mean, I disappeared and came back, and I saw Rashford come on, and I saw him score within 30 seconds of him coming on. I saw that England looked good, and Iran made him look good. Then I was watching a bit of Wales and America as well, and like, I mean, I stopped it at halftime, so I left it at halftime. I don't know what happened in the second half, but I couldn't watch that. And then I watched a little bit of Holland and Senegal as well. So a little bit of that. So I've been just looking at the atmosphere, trying to work out if there's a real atmosphere there, or whether the fans have just been dropped in there to say, look, try and enjoy it, or do the fans in football, are they genuine football fans?
They're right. Majority.
Yeah, but do you think Like when you look at the fans, do you think like they're seeing this for the first time, or what? I can't work out the vibe at the moment. You know, I don't know if it's genuine football fans who are genuinely excited, or is there some curiosity? I don't know yet.
Now there are the Irfan in the Middle East. They're crazy about football. They're
Yeah.
crazy.
Man,
It's not just
they're-
them.
they're
But it's all the
crazy.
it's all the workers from all different parts of the world.
Yeah, it's yeah.
But like in
It is.
Qatar, I think there's only like 100,000 population of Qataris. The rest of the people who live in Qatar are people from different parts of the world.
Yeah,
who live and
yeah.
work there. So
Yeah.
I think everybody loves football. Football is the most global football. One thing that what shocked me watching US for the first time, I think England, I think Iran, their tactics bringing Queiroz back after 3 months for them him being in charge of them for 3 months when they let go of the guy that qualified them for the World Cup is absolute disgrace.
That's crazy.
I think their tactics let them down heavily. I was so impressed with that first half of the US. I don't know about you guys. How many of you guys watched it? Bombay, did you watch the US game? Did you watch a bit of it?
Yeah.
US Wales.
I'll be honest with you, my friend. All I've watched is about 30 minutes of the England-Iran game and nothing else. So far, this World Cup, the baggage that we have brought as England into the World Cup is ruining the experience so far. But I'm hoping to tune into some of the bigger games.
Yeah.
And you know,
the last 16, yeah.
No, you know, like the bigger teams, like the Qatar, Ecuador, waste of time, really.
No, I did see a bit of Ecuador as well. They look good to me. They look good.
Perspective. So I'm waiting for the big stuff, really.
They look toothless. They look, yeah. They look toothless today. Senegal and Holland. It took them time. I think it was an even match. The second half was just not a really good game. And the last couple of minutes, last 10 minutes, the Netherlands, Holland, I call them Holland. They're Holland. They're Holland to me, Holland. And they found a way to win. Senegal without Mane looked totally not inspired. Their goalkeeper made 2 horrendous mistakes, and they were 2-0 down. So yeah, I watched the first half of the US Wales game, and I thought that was the best I've ever seen a US team play. It's got to be said. I thought the US were amazing.
No, you can see that football in the USA has come on. You can see. You remember what it's like back in the day. You know, Alexis Lalas era and you know, the time that they used when they were just sort of getting in there but not really doing anything. They do look like the most technically skilled US team I've had, and obviously they have Pulisic up front, so they got a proper player up there. So they do look better, but again, I do think England are far superior than any team in that group. I do think England's going to walk it.
Well, it's going to be very interesting to see because we've talked about Gareth Southgate, innit? We've talked big up Khalees when he last about it. We've talked about Gareth Southgate, and he actually went brave today. He played 4-3-3, and I think the England have got better players to take the best players for England are used to playing 4-3-3 from football. They're not defensive players. We haven't got good defense. So why don't you be on the front foot and attack and play to the team's strength? And I thought England did that today, even though Iran tactics were toothless. And I would say that first half Wales was bad, but the US were really good. Second half, apparently Wales came back into it, and that's what it was. But it's going to be interesting. We're going to see some more big guns tomorrow. There's some more big games tomorrow, isn't there? Some more big games tomorrow, I think. We're going to see Argentina, the French. Obviously, what did you think about Benzema being out? But obviously, I know you got a soft spot for the French. I know that you always had that. Bombay. What do you think about France and Benzema not being able to play in the World Cup?
Yeah, well, you know that all started.
Can't say they're missing a lot of players, aren't they?
Yeah, I think you know that's going to be difficult. Pogba, Kante, Veretout, few of the important guys for them are out. The attack's still okay. I mean, you got Mbappe, Griezmann, Giroud, but I think Benzema, you know, he's the talisman. He's a real leader in that team as well. And I think he'll be missed. So I'm not sure what France can do in this World Cup, but they're certainly missing some important players, especially Kante, man. He's a real engine in there. He sets the pace for them, leads by example as well. So it'll be difficult without him.
Yeah. So this is it. You can see here, guys. That's the results today in it. Senegal 2-0 England, 6-2, 1-1 US. But tomorrow, this is the fixtures tomorrow. Irfan, you're looking at this fixtures tomorrow. Obviously, we're going to get to see Argentina. I would expect Argentina to even though Saudi Arabia are decent, I would expect Argentina to win that one tomorrow. And then
easy work, man. Easy work, that.
No, I'm looking forward to tomorrow because I mean, look,
Mexico,
Argentina,
Poland,
Denmark, and France are three of my favorite teams.
Yeah, Mexico, Poland should be a really good game tomorrow. Should be a really good game. I think that game, I think that's going to be close. I think Poland are a better team than, I think this is probably one of Poland's better teams in a long time, I personally believe. And that game is a big game for them tomorrow. But Argentina, Saudi Arabia, that should be an easy one for Argentina. Denmark, Tunisia, interesting. Denmark
will be too strong for Tunisia.
Yeah, they're the best team for me, Denmark. They're the best team.
Yeah.
Like, they're the best team from Scandinavia for me. They've always been. They're the best Scandinavian team for me. And then you've got France, Australia. Australia against like the Americans, a very fit team, very physical, very competitive. But we'll see how France play. If he's going to play three at the back, if Varane's fit. I still think they've got an amazing squad. They've got an amazing squad.
And that's the thing they're in. They've got, I mean, they're just like a factory of footballers. They just got so many. The squad. They must have. France must have the best squad in the world of any country. They must have. Don't you think so?
Well, if they're all fit, if they're all fit, position for position. If they're all fit, but they've got injuries. I think one of the Argentina have not got that many injuries. There's not many players missing. So Brazil, not many Brazil missing either. But all the other teams have got certain injuries. Those of you watched the Netherlands today, Holland, what did you think of them? It looked like they've got nothing up front, really. Depay was injured, and then he's been injured leading up to this World Cup, and then he came on today. But the way they played in the first half, I don't think they were that good. And even though I know that a lot of United fans are hyped up about Gakpo, I want to out on that striker for United. I don't want another winger. I don't want another side winger. I want to out on that striker. I want somebody to be able to play on the right hand side. We need a cover for Anthony, 100%. But I don't want anything. But Irfan, the news is this coming out of Man United as well. That team viewer wants to basically walk away from the deal that they have. They said 6 months ago, they said they're not going to renew. Now they're thinking about pulling out altogether. And people, don't tell me the protest from the fans on social media, sending emails, going on the post of Team Viewer has not had an effect. Apparently, that's what they want to do. What do you think about that, Bumbaye? You think the fans are working?
Well, you see what happens when Ronnie walks away, Team Viewer walk away.
Yeah,
it's commercial, man. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
What else could it be? It's got to be that.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's not. I just want this noise to stop. I want to just get back to concentrating on the team, man. But it seems like dark clouds are coming over at the ground again and shit like that's happening. I just hope it can be solved.
Well, I don't think Man United are going to be able to compete with the Glazers. I don't genuinely believe Man United can compete for big trophies with the Glazers in charge. That's the difference between me and you, Bumbaye. I don't actually believe it. I don't. They have to sell.
I'm not saying they can or they can't, bro. But when I actually think about it, this is a private club owned by a family. In my heart of hearts, do I believe that we can force them out, that they can be forced out? I think the only thing that will force them out is when it's financially not worth it anymore. And then you have to find somebody that is willing to pay what they ask. And then you want to hope that the owners are, agreeable with ourselves as fans. I mean, you might get a consortium of the people that everybody wants to criticize coming in, saying, listen, we've got the dough, we're going to rebuild the stadium, rebuild everything, bring us up to date, here's as much money as you need to get this team back to be the best under Erik ten Hag. So it's not that we can't or we can. I'm not sure. What I do know is for certain I think Eric Ten Hag, for the first time in a long time, unites us all in thinking there's a different feel about things. There's an optimism back at Manchester United. There's a long-term project that we've bought into, and we've seen some improvements. And we're hoping we can just continue this improvements. That's the best I can hope for right now, even with Glazers.
Listen, I'm going to stay with you, Bumbaye. Who do you think the Golden Boot winner is going to be for the World Cup? Who do you think is the top scorer?
Who do I think is going to be the top scorer?
You think it's going to be Mbappe? You think it's going to be?
I don't know. I don't know about Mbappe. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about that.
Argentina. Do you think it's going to be Neymar, or it's going to be, you know, who do you think it's going to be? Or Messi? It could be Messi as well. Who do you think the top scorer is going to be? Well,
I think. Look,
listen, Valencia's already got 2 goals. Saka's already got 2 goals.
I think one good thing about this World Cup is this is the last World Cup, very realistically, for some of the greatest players. Neymar could be the last one. He's pushing 30. Is he going to be here at 34 for the next one? Messi, Ronaldo, this will be goodbye. Benzema, you won't see him again, I don't think. Wow. So there's a lot of players we're waving goodbye to in this World Cup. So they have something to prove. And that really adds something to this World Cup. I think Neymar seems to have really got his act together at club level, preparing for this one to leave with a bang. I think Mbappe will depend on that midfield of France, because if you can't supply, then you can't score. So I don't know. That midfield has been a big part of their success with Kante, with Pogba. So that's a worry there. Who else have we got? You know, Harry Kane, maybe.
Well, England scored 6 today, and he didn't even get a sniff. He didn't even get a sniff. I didn't think he had a shot.
No. Yeah.
He set up a couple of goals today. He set up a brilliant goal for Sterling.
Yeah.
Listen, I just want to big up Alicia. Alicia's saying she's half Polish. Big up the Polish, man. We not a lot for the Polish people. We grew up around here, South Central Manchester. A lot of Polish churches, a lot of Polish people I work with. So love, nothing but love for the Polish people, man. Nothing but love. Irfan, who do you think the top scorer is going to be? The Golden Boot winner? Who's going to be the contenders?
I do think. I was going to say Mbappe, but I mean, like, will he get the service? I mean, actually, are they geared to just supporting him and making him score all day long? I don't know, because it could be Martinez from Argentina, Lautaro, could be him.
Messi, man. Messi, I can't count him out.
I don't know.
They're playing.
It's very hard.
They're playing Saudi, so it might bang a few.
Huh?
They're playing Saudi, you know, so Messi could get off to a bang tomorrow.
Yeah, but don't they score? Aren't there a lot of people who score for Argentina? It's not just one person or Messi, is it? There's a few people.
Martinez, you know that kid, that Martinez, the striker. The 2 players who've got same name. One of them he plays for United. The other guy plays for Inter Milan. They both got similar names. He's the striker who plays for Inter Milan. He bangs in a lot of goals for Argentina recently.
Yeah, that's Lautaro Martinez. Yeah.
And then Lisandro Martinez. Yeah.
Lisandro's obviously, but he's not in the. He doesn't get in the first team, does he?
Well, he doesn't. They play Otamendi, the City guy, but we know
Romero.
But they play him because Otamendi is good in the air. He's taller. They believe the same as thing. The Carragans and all of that believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But guys, it is what it is. Gakpo here says Cody Gakpo remains the one to watch for 2000 transfer market. He has now scored, assisted 32 goals in all competitions this season. PSV won around 50 million package for Gakpo, when Man United decided to invest in Anthony as a priority. Well,
no, we lost him. We lost him. Well, you know, Nuruddin doesn't want Gakpo anyway. He doesn't want him because he's, like I said, he's a winger anyway. He's not a he's a winger.
Man United need a striker. Man United,
yeah, and he's not a striker.
You know what? I do agree, man. Look, Ronnie's gone now. What if Martial gets injured? We're thin on the ground, and I think our team is not designed to play with a false nine. We need
Sorry,
a
I'm
winger.
a bit behind the news. Is it confirmed? Has he gone, Nuruddin? Yeah.
Yeah, listen, Ronaldo, Irfan, if Ronaldo comes back to the training ground, then Eric Ten Hag has got every right to walk out of Man United.
Okay.
It won't look good on the club, will it, if Ronnie comes back after this?
No.
And I'm talking on the basis that we're not going to see him again. So on that basis, bro, I know this Cody Gakpo is... I mean, if you get rid of Sancho and bring him in, all right, I've got no issues at the moment with that. Sancho, I don't know what's happening, but this team needs a striker, man, to really be our long-term solution. Not our Harry Kane.
I think we need 2 strikers. I think we need 2.
Man, just pray we get at least 1 first, and 2. This is the Glazers.
I don't think we're going to get 1. I don't think we're going to get 1.
I'm not going to lie to you. Ronaldo, Portugal played better without Ronaldo. I'm not going to lie to you. I swear, honestly. They play better without Ronaldo. They're more fluent, Irfan, up front.
Yeah, but who's they got up front without Thingy? Who's they got up front with that? If Ronaldo doesn't play striker, Jota's obviously not there. Who scores the goals for them?
They've got Leao. They've got the Benfica.
Oh yeah, the AC Milan guy is a wicked player.
Felix.
They've got 2 or 3 different strikers who are better, or this currently better than Ronaldo, but they don't play them.
No, I've seen that. Leao a few times, and I love the silky smooth striker he is.
Yo, how many likes have we got on the show, people? How many likes have we got?
I can't tell.
How many likes have we got on this? Please let me know, people. Alicia Sinkanova, let me know how many we've got, how many likes we've got. Big up Irfan, by the way, absolutely smashed it on Saturday. Bought a band out from Leeds. Irfan bought a band from Leeds to come and play this young students, but they
were all trained at Leeds Conservatoire, where you go and learn about music. But they're all highly skilled musicians. They were highly skilled. They were. You missed this, Nuruddin. You missed them just without the singers. The singers were little chilling out in the green room, and they were just playing hip hop together, live hip hop. The backing band were the drummer, the bass player, the keyboard player. It was amazing. It was a whole different vibe.
That's an insult. Honestly, you guys are taking the biscuit. There's nearly 125 of you in here.
Yeah, but wait a second. You know what? But Nuruddin, wait a second. Let's be honest. Did we scare our white brothers and sisters away talking about it the way we did? Did we do that?
But I don't think Irfan was about black and white, really. It's about elites. Elites who who rule over these countries.
Yeah, but many people all over Europe, in England, know it for what it is. You have to go onto YouTube. The problem is here, if you're going to watch the World Cup through the eyes of the BBC and ITV, you're going to get a certain experience. I tried something different, and the experience is totally different when you watch it through another country's broadcasting.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit more like a World Cup without the baggage that is based on just the football. So a lot of people out there are giving really positive reviews about everything. And believe me, I am not surprised. It's just... This is the striker, Andre Silva.
Andre Silva, right. Okay. This is the guy, yeah.
This is the guy. Guys, get the lights up,
man. Who's he play for? Who does Andre Silva play for? Is it Benfica?
He plays for Benfica.
Yeah, Benfica guy. Yeah, he's Benfica. Actually, a lot of people rate this guy a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people rate this guy.
I'm sure he was at Benfica, but they've got other strikers as well who can play. And honestly, if less than 100, you should all be ashamed of yourselves. I don't think we scared anybody away. I think we needed to address it so that we can focus on the football.
I don't know. I worry that we do. I worry that we do because look, right? I get angry when I talk about stuff like this. I can't.
Did he used to play for Benfica? I'm sure he played for Benfica. If I'm not, what's the small guy? The small guy who plays for Benfica, who scored some fantastic goals in the Champions League.
Huh? Let's check. Andre Silva, yeah.
Portugal have got a good team, guys. Portugal
are in a purple patch generation. They keep breeding more and more managers, players, everything. Portugal's on the go for football. It might as well be the Portuguese football empire again.
Yeah.
Huh?
This is the guy Ramos, Gonzalo
Ramos, yeah.
Any surprise packages in this World Cup for anybody? People in the comments, you two. I mean, I'm not going to go on like I know about the teams that are in this, man.
Now the teams, like, listen, it's simple. The teams for me, like, what am I?
Any dark horses?
At this
Oh
point,
no, Andre Silva, right? Just say he came from Eintracht Frankfurt, and before Frankfurt, he was at Sevilla. Before he joined Leipzig.
yes, that's not him. We're talking about this guy here, Ramos, the one who scores goals. He scored souls.
Yeah, but who's their striker then? If Ronaldo's not there, who is it? Who's their main guy?
Well, it's this guy, Andre Silva, and the other guy playing. Let me just get the Benfica guy. Benfica striker.
Gonzalo Ramos.
There's two of them, fan. There's one short guy. He's got some fantastic goals. Right?
Sure, it's not.
One of them scored us, honestly, scored absolutely amazing goals. I don't know if he's Brazilian, because you don't know some of these.
Yeah.
It is Rafael. Is it Rafael Silva? Benfica strikers? It is Rafael Silva. It is the short guy. It is Rafael Silva. He's not a Leipzig. This guy's at a Benfica.
No, Andre Silva's at Leipzig, Nuruddin. Andre Silva is. Gonzalo is at. This guy's at Benfica. Gonzalo is Ramos.
Must be some of the Silva then, because here it says Rafael. His name is Rafael, right? Alexandre Fernandes Ferreira da Silva, Portuguese footballer who plays attacking midfielder, winger for Liga club, Portugal. That guy is a deadly.
There's an article here, Man United News is saying United should sign this guy to replace Cristiano.
No. I think they've got Paoletta. Paoletta's still there. Is he still playing?
Yeah, I think they have, yeah.
No, but there's a guy called Paqueta. Plays for West Ham. Who does he play? Oh, he's Argentinian.
He's a Brazilian midfielder. Luis Paqueta. Yeah. He's a Brazilian midfielder. Yeah.
Oh, he's Brazilian.
Yeah. Brazilian guy.
All I'd say, trust in Ten Hag, man. He's not let us down with the signings so far. Obviously, need to see more from Anthony.
Yeah, Rafael Silva's retired. So the one I pulled up is retired.
Yeah.
Benfica, I just want to go Benfica strikers. Who plays?
You know what?
Listen, Logan, who's the short guy who plays for Benfica, who scored the fantastic goals in the Champions League? Who is he? Is he Portuguese? That guy is brilliant player. Brilliant player. Brilliant player, that guy, honestly. The guy who scored some fantastic goals this season from Benfica in the Champions League against PSG was sick guy, mate. Sick goals. Really good. Short guy. Comes in late into the box, attacking kind of number 10. Fantastic goals, people. Fantastic goals. I don't know, man. I'm just going to see Benfica squad. Listen, I'm gonna get to you first, Mumbai. Who do you think is gonna win the World Cup?
England. Put England aside. I must say, Bellingham, I thought looked nice today.
Sensational,
yeah. Yeah, he's a fantastic player. England aside, could be Brazil. Could be Brazil. And you know what? You know how much I just love a guy called Van Gaal, bro. And the fact that they've never ever won it, and they've had such fabulous players, it wouldn't be the saddest thing to see them lift the World Cup. Other than that, you know me, my other team is usually Nigeria. Again, I would really like to see an African country win the World Cup, man. You know, that's never happened before as well. So I don't know. There's a lot of variables in this World Cup. We are stepping into the unknown in a lot of ways, but that does breed some interest in it. But I think Brazil look really good. It's hard to say. And then, bro, this is the swan song of Argentina, and you know, Messi is firing for PSG. They got a really strong team as well. Di Maria, good defense. It's tough, but yeah. So Holland, you know, England aside, go Holland or an African team, but I think I'm gonna go with Brazil.
Irfan, who do you think is going to win the World Cup?
I don't know why I keep saying Brazil, because I do want Brazil to win it, but
No,
I don't know. I mean,
for the first time ever, I'm against them because of their politics.
yeah. Well, wait a second, but haven't they redeemed themselves by getting Lula back in?
No, I'm talking about the players. All of them are Bolsonaro.
Oh yeah.
Pay taxes in Brazil, like Neymar's as well and that.
Yeah. Okay, no, fair enough.
Did you not see when the results got read out that the Lula fans were singing, "Pay your taxes, Neymar, pay your taxes."
Yeah. Remember, this is the same guy who said he's not black, though. Remember, yeah. Remember, it's the same guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Damaged. They're damaged. They're seriously damaged. They're damaged. You know, but it's a damaged country, damaged people, and everything. You know, what can you even say? But if it wasn't Brazil, it's a tough one. It's really tough to think who. I mean, who? I don't know who. I think Brazil could win it, but whether I can support them, I don't know. Like you said, you know, when you find out what the players are like, it's not an easy thing to get behind them. Tough one, actually. Who? If I didn't go for Brazil, who could I go for? Maybe Argentina. Maybe they could do it. I think the Heat's going to play a role in this. Whoever can adjust to those conditions, you know, is going to definitely have an advantage. It's just too early to say because I haven't even seen anybody yet, really.
Yeah.
So hard to say.
And this is what Windy says. I can never support that country. It's way too racist for me. Agreed. They literally ethnically cleansed the Afro-Argentinians. Ethnically cleansed them in wars that they were having with Colombia and that couple hundred years ago. It's crazy what they did. Listen, big up to every one of you. Subscribe to the channel. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. We're on the road to 10K. Those of you who heard us today talking about the real issues and showing Western and European hypocrisy in terms of when they want to point the fingers. And when
we needed Tom today, Nuruddin. We needed Tom, mate. We needed Tom.
Nah, Tom couldn't make it. He couldn't make it at the end of the day. And some people are fun. They don't want to talk about the politics either. We have to be fair to them. They're not interested. So,
yeah, but Nuruddin,
let me finish them. I'm gonna have to wrap up the show, bro. Some people don't want to talk about politics. They don't. This country. A lot of people are afraid to. I'm not saying Tom is. I'm just saying in general. A lot of people don't like to get in because they think people are gonna fall out and they don't like to hear people's views or whatever. So it is what it is. We don't hide who we are. To me, I think I will speak for everybody. We disagree on details here and there, but on the whole, to me, I'm always with the people, and I always say power to the people. Power to the people. And anywhere in the world, if they don't like their elites, those people in those countries will find ways to get rid of them. Some have more is a long-term struggle, is a historical struggle. Some find it quickly, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
Look, I'm going to sign off by saying, like you, man, there are good and bad people everywhere. There is much more that unites us than divides us. 100%. And this whole narrative is concocted and it is dominating the coverage, but it is not a representation of what people actually think of each other. Especially, we live in a lovely city, many different types of people, and we've got our own problems. What I take exception to is not any individual thing. It is us telling people how to live their lives and to give them moral standards and impose ourselves on them. This is not right, and we wouldn't like it, so we shouldn't do it.
Big up people. Smash a like on the video on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, people. Please, let's get to 100 likes before we go, people. But Irfan, big up for Saturday night. I thought you smashed it. The band smashed it. That's one of the best sets that you played. Bumbaye's not been out in 10 years. And he was there, jigging down to the music. Music saves all, mate. Music saves all.
Well, music is work. Well, we use it because we want to get everyone together. We want to get white. We want to get LGBT. We want to get everyone together. We want to get everyone together and just let everyone be. That's what we want. But it's so hard to do it because of the people above, the system, the power structure above doesn't allow it. You know, it doesn't allow this to happen. You know, And this is the issue. You know how multicultural Manchester is, and you know how we have our inner city of Manchester is a massive LGBT community. It's massive. You can't get away from it. There's no issue. They do what they want. We do what we want. It's not a problem. We're all cool with each other. Mostly, there's no issue.
It's all love. All of it is love. And music is love. To be fair, music brings people together. That's how it is. But
I hope so.
Big up to every one of you, man. Honestly,
Irfan, we left your place. I had to drop Dino off at another party. Do you believe that?
I had to go to a party.
Yeah, someone said you went to another party. I said, don't be daft. He's going to bed. He's not going to another party. Which party did you miss then?
I went to a party. Friends of mine had a party. Friends were from Liverpool. People that I went to uni with. There was a party in town.
What? So what do you mean?
It went to Piccadilly 21s, bro.
Oh, that's Royal.
You know what? There's no equivalent of 21 Piccadilly anymore, though. There's not a club like that left, is there?
No, I don't think so.
No, that that kind of thing that doesn't exist anymore, Mr. Bombay. That's gone. That doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. That's been taken over by a different thing now.
Yeah, me and Bombay used to be regulars when we were 16. We used to be regulars.
Yeah, no, I went. I remember going there.
Check him out. Irfan actually went to the Hacienda, people. One of the biggest clubs, renowned clubs in the world.
Yeah, we were lucky. Look, that's the 80s, though. That was a different time.
Did you ever DJ?
Yeah. No, only once I got asked to play downstairs in a bar called the Gay Traitor Bar. Actually, it was called the Gay Traitor Bar. But it was what happened. There used to just be mellow music downstairs. So because I knew the guy who did it at the shop, the vinyl record shop I used to buy from, he said, "Can you just cover me once?" I just came. I only did it once downstairs. This is probably about 94, 95, a year before it closed.
Listen, big up to Alicia Zinkanova. Forget moonwalk. I've got my own moves. And
where's moonwalk? So can you moonwalk? No. Listen. You know what? You know when people talk about dancing and club culture, it's a shame that you think dancing is just the moonwalk. If you come to the party, you'll see moves you've never seen before. You'll see the moonwalk is a dated thing these days. It's a dated thing. You'll see so many different types of movement from different people, and you learn something. It's a shame we can't get these people more into music culture. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know.
Listen, smash a like, people. Smash a like a video on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Hit that notification button. It lets you know when we're next live, people. But it's been a good discussion, good talk. We've got it out in the open. We don't like hypocrisy, people. We do not like hypocrisy. And I'm not ever going to stand for it.
It's all over my Facebook. People that I know through music are all saying, I'm going to boycott. That's all I keep reading. I'm going to boycott. That's all people keep saying. They've all jumped for the line about,
For me, that's the most privileged thing to be, because how passive is it to say to boycott something? Do you think Qataris give a damn whether you watch or not?
Of course they don't. No. But I just honestly look at my Facebook. I look at my Facebook and everyone's boycott it. I mean, what's the headline here? I just saw a funny headline. Look at the headline.
Man, I used to love Michael Jackson. When I grew older, I started to love Prince. I started to love Prince music more and appreciate it. But as a young kid, growing up in East Africa, Michael Jackson, Maradona. These were the football. It was all about Maradona. Music was about Michael Jackson. Boxing, it was all about Mike Tyson. These were the days. These were the days. But it is what it is. But big up to all of you guys. Leave a like as you leave the stream, please. Big up. I'd like to thank Bombay. I want to thank Irfan. And please go and check out the Straight Jacket podcast, Saeed TV. We talked about Jadon Sancho because Jadon Sancho has left social media for now to focus on getting back on form, being a better footballer. And we wish him
good news. That's good.
Yeah, we wish him nothing but luck. But big up to every one of you in the chat. All of you who got involved. Love and light, people. Love and light. I'm going to go try to watch a bit of the different highlights of the games that I missed today. But take care, people. And you can catch Irfan Rainey on Instagram if you're interested in the music. And if you're interested in the politics, Irfan Rainey on Twitter. Bombay, you only have him here on this channel. And Saeed TV across all social media. Go and check out the Straight Jacket podcast. Really good podcast about Jadon Sancho. We need to support and here, Irfan, quickly. Logan's asking you. Sancho's gone off social media to focus on football. is I think is disconnected from all social media.
Well,
was asking what do you think about that?
Well, to be honest with you, because I used to watch him, play next to Haaland. I used to just watch this guy being almost like
in the
one of the main
in the Bundesliga, give the context. Bundesliga.
Yeah, in the Bundesliga. I used to watch him, and I used to see, wow, this guy's got a swagger to him, yeah. And then I used to I just used to watch him and think, have we got the same? Did we buy the same guy? And then I look at him at United, and it's this stop start, and now it stopped again. Now I can't work out why you don't get more than half a good game out of him. I can't work it out why. He's definitely not the player that he was in the Bundesliga. Now my friends have been saying to me that he's not cut out for Man United at the moment. The way he's playing and the way he's handling it is that he's not cut out to be a Man United player.
22 years old, there, fan. It's 20.
Yeah, no. And so when
it's come to United with high pressure.
Yeah,
it's a club that's not stable.
Yeah,
and we ruin players sometimes. That happens.
So he's got to deal with all of that. Is Man United ruining Bruno? Who has Man United ruined of late though? He hasn't ruined
a lot of players, man. Man United.
Yeah, but is it all right? Is it ruining Lisandro Martinez? Does he sound ruined to you?
No, but listen, he's had a fantastic start, but we'll see anyway. But guys, peace, love, light. Alicia says she's got all of the Prince albums. That's quite impressive, isn't it? Having all the Prince albums. I
don't know what generation Alicia is. I can't work out.
Alicia's in Canova. It's your generation. She's your generation.
No way. Don't be that.
She used to watch United in the 70s.
Wow, my generation. You're kidding me. Wow. I mean, well, look, I played a Prince track on Saturday, didn't I? I played a Prince track.
Yeah, brilliant.
But I don't play the Prince tracks that people know. I don't go near those. Yeah. You won't hit me. You won't Purple Rain and those ballad type nonsense. I don't like. To me, there's only one Prince track you need to know, apart from the one I played on Saturday.
It's popular. You don't mean
Purple Rain. No. It's just a rock ballad, man. Come on. The best song, in my opinion, he's written is called "Sign of the Times," and the one I played on Saturday, the one that's very hard to get hold of, is called "Purple Music." That's the one.
One of my favorites, Musicology. The albums.
Yeah, that's Prince doing James Brown, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 23, but I love 80s music. I don't think so.
I knew I was joke 23. Come on.
Alicia, you're not 23. Big up to you, by the way. Love. Take care. Bumbaye. Big up everybody. We'll see you in the next one. We'll be covering more games, just a roundup World Cup. We'll be doing a roundup of World Cup games. So we'll do a show, half an hour show tomorrow, just looking at the results and the games. So big up to every one of you. Let me know what kind of content you want in the World Cup, people. Get in the comments of the video and let us know what do you want us to focus on, what do you want us to cover. Take care, people. Peace. I hope you're staying warm wherever you are. Win, lose, or draw. Glazers out, bankers out. We always have to say that. Stop the moralizing. Stop the hypocrisy. The BBC. The only people you should be boycotting is the BBC people. Absolute hypocrisy. Take care. Peace.